So Emily in Paris is such a good show, isn't it? And season 3 was such a wicked and wonderful continuation with everyone's individual and wider group storylines. And I really do feel like with this season in particular, all of the characters had truly interconnected storylines, and they really gave all of their cast such meatier material to deal with. Although I was hoping for a few more dramatic moments this season, as nothing matched Camille's absolutely sensational reveal of Gabrielle and Amelie's secret romance. But anyway, let's break down everything to do with season 3 right now. So we have to, of course, start with Lily Collins' Emily, who is just the biggest ray of sunshine. And I just love how at the start of this season, they very naturally resolved the conundrum that she had set for herself at the end of the 3rd season, in terms of, does she go with Sylvie to start a brand new company, or does she stay with Madeline in the newly restructured Savoir company? And I think they handled it in the best possible way, in that it was really realistic and earned, in terms of, you know, people pleasing Emily, trying to please both of them, which just ultimately blew up in her face. And then she decides to stay with Madeline, but then pines to want to go back to Sylvie, and then with all of her work visa issues. So I just feel like all of it was just handled and resolved so fantastically. Then her love life didn't give as much drama as I thought it would do, as she nearly lost Alfie, but then got him back and just had very light flirtation with Gabrielle, but neither of them ever really acted on their feelings. I still think she hasn't got that much chemistry at all, if I'm being completely honest, between her and Alfie. I always just see them as being good friends rather than star-crossed lovers. But just when you think there's light at the end of the tunnel, we have the revelation that Camille is pregnant, so I can't wait to see what lays in the future for both Gabrielle and Emily, as you just know that they're hopefully going to make it work out somehow. I loved all of her marketing sequences at the marketing agency. You can just tell that this is the career she was destined to be in, as she is just such a natural with all of it. I wish we saw a few more sequences with her Instagram page. I know she did a couple of live streams, but I feel like that Instagram account really was its own character in the previous 2 seasons, and she never even mentioned the fact that her Instagram page is called Emily in Paris this season. So I hope they do a lot more of it in the next season. Lucas Bravo is so good as Gabrielle. I love that he continues to build his career ambitions, from having his own restaurant to wanting to invest in it and wanting to get a Michelin star, and then wanting to start his own family, all whilst maintaining a true aura of class and elegance. I think he's such a good role model, and they were all being really respectful this season long, even though they definitely played the long game in terms of him and Camille drifting apart. But apart from acting a little bit drunk on one occasion, he didn't really act on his feelings for Emily. I loved how scrumptious though they really made all of the food sequences look, especially that Michelin star dining sequence between him and Emily. And I love the end sequence where he was a bit blindsided, to be honest, with Camille's reaction at the end, but he still didn't disagree with anything that she was saying, as we all know that him and Emily really have got a bit of a spark between them. And speaking of Camille, I do think they could have definitely done more with her this season, but she obviously had a bit of a romance with her Greek friend, and I thought it was really interesting in terms of taking her as a character into a bit of a new direction. And I absolutely love the fact that they revisited the fact that she had a bit of a master plan with her mother on ensuring that Emily doesn't get back with Gabrielle. And just like any parent, you know, she really just wants to have the best and creating the perfect life for her daughter, but Camille just finds this a little bit suffocating, and I just thought Camille's reaction to this at the end was absolutely brilliant. I feel like this character and this actress is just so good in those big dramatic moments. I thought they would have done a little bit more with the fact that Emily found out the truth about Camille having a bit of an affair behind Gabrielle's back. But obviously Emily is such a lovely character, and she didn't react in the same way that Camille reacted when she found out the truth about her and Gabrielle. Sylvie, like I said, with all of her French co-stars, just oozes class like no other. And I love the way that even though she was tempted with offers from both Madeleine and Nicholas, she was ultimately wanting to stick with her dream of wanting to open up her own business where she is in full control and has full ownership. And they really do show the struggles of this. But you know, because Sylvie is so well renowned within this industry, she was able to acquire loads of brilliant clients. And they even show the fact that actually she has got a lot of relationship drama as well, as ultimately she did go back to her husband. I really did feel bad, if I'm being honest, for her photographer boyfriend, as he really didn't do anything wrong, but I guess she was always drawn back to her ex, whether she liked it or not. I absolutely love the fact that they revisited revisited Julian's jealousy with Emily at the end of season 3. I bet he's going to work for Nicholas in season 4. I think that's the person that he was teasing that he is getting headhunted from. And I just love his overreaction to Emily just stealing the limelight, being so vibrant, just being so good at her job. And it just makes him feel so intimidated. And I just feel like this actor just does such a good job in all of those sequences, as they were just absolutely incredible. Mindy had so much more to do this season, and I just think she is just so brilliant as a character and of course as an actress as well. I loved how loyal she was to Benoliel right at the start in terms of not wanting to go solo, but then she was absolutely killer when she did eventually go solo, as well as his jealousy over Nicholas and the fact that this just got the better of him, and actually they ended up drifting apart, and then his insecurities were actually proven right because she then did go with Nicholas. And I think she was such a good girlfriend actually in terms of going to all of his high profile brilliant work functions and then being not afraid to tell him when he is in the wrong. And she really did show that she has an absolutely super loyal best friend towards Emily as well, whilst also, you know, progressing all of her dreams of being a singer and her romance. So she really did demonstrate that she is able to be her own independent person and is able to balance everything. So I think she actually had a really great season this time. Speaking of Nicholas, I think he was such a great addition. He's always firstly so incredibly well dressed and always looking immaculate, and really did pose as a true challenge to Emily on multiple occasions, and even showed a bit of a dark side when he made her leave Mindy's event. But this was kind of understandable, as Emily did definitely humiliate him during one of his biggest career moments. I feel like he is such a great addition actually to the cast, and I hope they do even more with him in the next season, as like I said, he has the potential of being such a brilliant new character. And even though she wasn't in it that much, I absolutely loved the sequences with Marianne, especially when she was in conflict with Sylvie, to her absolutely hilarious Zoom call with her superiors whilst having a cat Snapchat filter still during the Zoom meeting, the pigeon flying in, not being able to go on mute. I feel like that entire sequence was just so spectacular, and I literally was just laughing out loud, as I feel like Emily in Paris is just absolutely incredible during those moments. Alfie was fine this season. He got a great new job in Paris, had a relatively stable relationship with Emily, helped out the group on multiple occasions whenever they needed it, but other than that, he didn't really have any drama, and I feel like he didn't really bring that much as a character, which is so unfortunate, as the actor is definitely very capable, which he definitely did show in that final sequence, which I thought was absolutely incredible, when he walked out on Emily after Camille's reveal, and he was like, look, I'm not anybody's second best, and I just think I'm going to leave this space and you should go back to Gabrielle. So I thought that was a really, really good sequence. But like I said, I just feel like him and Emily don't really have authentic chemistry like Gabrielle and Emily do, and I just think that they are really good friends, but unfortunately I don't think they're going to work out as a couple. Timothy, he had a blink and you missed it moment, but I am really, really glad that they did bring him back, as obviously he had some hilarious sequences with Emily, but he was really intimidating, I have to say, against Alfie. But either way, it would be really cool to see this character a little bit more, as he has got the potential to have maybe good storylines, especially as the brother to Camille. Antoine was a really great in terms of a client continuation, speaking of continuations, as was Pierre Cardin and of course Gregory as well. I love the fact that they have these guys as recurring luxury French brand owners, and all of their sequences from a marketing perspective are always really, really good. The ending was really, really good as always, maybe not as jaw-dropping as season 2 was, but a real thorn in the way of Emily and Gabrielle's future in terms of Camille now being pregnant, and it's going to be really interesting to see if they're going to work through this or if they're going to get new partners in the next season. And I'm just hoping that the next season just brings even more drama, maybe with Emily and Nicholas, maybe exploring a bit of a love interest, which they did actually tease when these two characters first met, and maybe their bitter rivalry / hatred with one another, maybe that could lead to a bit of a love interest and spark flying between the two of them. And this is really going to intensify when Mindy finds out the truth, so that could be really, really interesting. And I hope that they do even more international traveling as well. But you know, overall the third season was really, really fun to watch, and the cast and characters just delivered another brilliant fun outing of the season. So those are all of my thoughts on the third season of Emily in Paris, but now I'd love to hear from you, so please let me know what you thought of it in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.